In today's episode, we're diving into the incredibly advanced and intelligent Mayan civilization, their sacred system of timekeeping, their cosmology, and their powerful form of astrology that identifies the archetypal energies we come into this world with. We're joined by Christine Hernandez, and this conversation completely expanded how we think about astrology, sacred time, and personal transformation. We also talk about the ceremonial use of cacao, how it's been used in ritual and healing, and how combining an understanding of your Mayan birth energy with intentional cacao ceremony can unlock profound shifts. If you've ever felt curious about ancient wisdom traditions or wondered whether there's more to astrology than just your zodiac sign, this episode is for you. And with that, let's dive in.
Rachel, you're like gonna be obsessed with Christine. Like half of this was like,
I know
I
I
needed
am.
my bestie to talk to you directly. And then we need, Christine to talk to like all of our Spirit Outspoken besties because like it's such
Yay.
it's so different than anything I've ever learned about. And to think that there's this whole spiritual practice out there that I mean, obviously it's well known, right? You have a very large following and, people are very interested in this, but I think people who maybe predominantly grew up Christian have no clue about this,
Mhm.
right? So it's such a good opportunity. But yes, I was so intrigued because you talk a lot about sacred time. And, I think as people go on their spiritual journey, their relationship with time evolves, right? Like we have concepts around I can heal myself now by healing the past and by working with rhythms and seasons, I can make the most out of this lifetime here, right? So the way that you position things in terms of now, is it Mayan astrology or cosmology?
So it could be considered both. It's really more a cosmology. It's an understanding of who we are on a soul level and how we move throughout this life. Whereas astrology is how do the stars impact my personality, right? So it's a bit
Okay.
different. It's deeper. There's like deeper roots to it.
Yeah, so it's not like Saturn is in Pisces in your 6th house. Like, this is a total different system,
Mhm.
history, culture, application, which I did
Exactly.
not understand until I started talking to you, and I
Wow,
was like,
that is so
"Oh, there's
cool.
something else I can learn," and I just got really excited. So why don't we start there? Why don't you just kind of give our listeners, Mayan astrology and Mayan cosmology 101, and then we'll
Yes.
go from there.
So, yeah, I think I'll start with saying that time is not linear, right? It's cyclical, just like it moves with the rhythms of like the moon and the sun and the earth. We do too, and we're a fractal of that. Everything, there's patterns and everything. And so we are like that movement and we have our own seasons as well. And so the Maya were observing the patterns of the cosmos as well as the earthly patterns to create this calendar. It's called the Cholki, the sacred Mayan calendar. And it exists so that we can come into, you know, connection with source and into connection with our soul's essence. It's to support us on our spiritual path. So it's made up of 260 days, like the gestation period of a human. It's made up of 20 nawales, which are energies, unique energies that come together with 13 cycles. And so that gives you the 260 days. Those 20 nawals, they reflect your digits, your fingers. It's like this reflection of the human, right? When I said we're all patterns, it's like the macro to the micro of wholeness of the human. So the nawals reflect our digits. And then the 13 cycles, they reflect our 13 joints. We have 13 joints.
Oh,
And
didn't
so
know
it's
that.
just this reflection. It's nothing scary. The Maya saw 13, right, as a sacred number. What it represents is, that connection to source, connection to creator, connection to our ancestors, the unseen. Um, and so, yeah, it's this beautiful creation. And they were keen observers of time. The Maya were keen observers of time, of the cosmos, of time and space. They understood time as being alive and understanding that we could live in relationship to time. and to all things. When we live in relationship and understand we're all connected, interconnected, then we can live in harmony with time itself, with nature itself, with the cosmos as well. And so, yeah, there's an energy every single day that you can come into connection with the calendar, understanding there's energies there. And when you understand the energy you come in with, right, then you can better understand yourself. You can understand what comes easy to you, what challenges you will face, what your soul's purpose is, and also how you can be supportive to the collective. There's this understanding that we're all interconnected. So how can we be, a beautiful piece to the puzzle to support our sisters, brothers, humans, right? Other humans. And yeah, it's just this beautiful cosmology, which is an understanding that everything is woven together, time and space, the human nature, the cosmos. And again, we're all connected. So it's very, practical and real and honest, and it's very accurate and just confirming of who you know yourself to be. But it's very honest and real. So sometimes, it's not always just like the rainbows and butterflies with astrology. It can be like, oh no, you're going to have some challenges here, but how can we work with that? How can we overcome that? How can we use that as fuel for our fire, for us to become more creative, more artistic, bring more light into the world, right? It's like the darkness or the challenges that we face, they can support us in really understanding how resilient we are, how powerful we are, how much light we carry within us. So yeah, does that kind of give a good understanding?
It's
Any
such a
questions?
beautiful explanation of it. The one thing that I love that you touched on that I have such an appreciation for with this is that interconnectedness piece and realizing that we are all interconnected. And I think that's such a beautiful reminder to all of us. And I also think it helps us understand and place more value on everyone and everything. Everything has a purpose, everything has a reason, it just elevates everything and
Yes.
allows us to have maybe understanding or compassion. I don't know the right word, but it gives everything meaning or purpose or value. And I just think that's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that
And
about this.
that's like the goal of life for the Maya, was to understand everybody has a purpose and how can we live in harmony with this life, with our own energy. And I wanted to share also that the calendar, that's just one calendar. And the Maya had the most accurate calendars in human history. Okay. So this is the
That's
sacred
right.
calendar that helps you with your spiritual path. But then there's like the Hob calendar, which is the agricultural calendar. Then you have the long count calendar that predicts solstices and equinoxes for thousands of years in advance, which those are teachers as well, just like the seasons are teachers. And we're, again, patterns and, the fractals, and we can understand by looking at everything else, learning from everything else. Everything is a teacher. The seasons, the equinoxes are teachers, the solstices are teachers. So the equinoxes teaches us balance, right? It's a time of balance, perfect light, perfect dark. And so with the seasons, then you understand, okay, there are times for us when there's more darkness and where we need to have more rest, or there's more light and we need to have more productivity. That's like a more micro scale. Then with the calendar, you can see a more micro. Every day has an energy. So there are days for productivity. There are days for creativity, or for healing and supporting your mental health, or connection to your ancestors, or to, um, healing different parts of yourself, connecting with different parts of yourself, or with your collective, with your community, or with your relationship. So, for instance, today in the calendar is two Kanil, which two represents relationships. It also represents duality, polarity. And then Kanil is abundance. And so it's a good day to like do some checks and balances, maybe to look at your like investment portfolios, right? Or to be more efficient with like some of the things you need to do, some shopping you need to get done with errands and things like that. So that's a little bit of a different day, but you can feel into abundance today, remembering that you are abundant, right? And that's like a frequency that you carry naturally. And so, yeah, every day is very different, and you can feel into that. And we are so used to the Gregorian calendar, which is a distortion of time. It was created by, Pope Gregory the 13th to make you pay your taxes. So we're, yeah, out of
I was
alignment.
gonna say it was created by some white guy, okay? Like it was created by some white guy.
Of
Let's just
course.
start there. And I
Mhm.
did not know that it was created more around taxes,
I
but
had no
like
idea. No.
that checks out,
Yeah.
honestly. That
Yeah.
checks out. Yeah, I love how it's something that you can bring into your day to day. And like I will just speak from personal experience. I was blown away at the accuracy. I loved our reading and how you describe things because I felt so seen. And then I was really taken aback when I like fully understood that it really doesn't align to what we would say as like traditional astrology. So I'm like talking about the interconnectedness. It's like I am who I am and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter on a soul level like what perhaps system you use, you are reflected. Your true self is reflected across these different times
Mm,
and space. And I thought that that was so fascinating and it was so validating for me to be like,
mhm.
gosh, like this is yet another ancient system that is so intelligently designed,
Yeah.
telling me I am who I am. And that is, if that doesn't speak to like a creator and a God, I don't know what does. And it was funny. I will tell you, a couple Christians reached out and they said, well, why would you say you would need this? Like, why do you think you would need this? And I understand the hesitancy of like looking beyond the textbook, right? I get it. Like, we're told just to look in this book, that's all there is to it. But when it points to a creator and it points to the divine within, like,
Mhm.
why not? Why not? Like, to me, it just, I left feeling, you just feel like magical after some conversations and so seen. And then I was like learning about it and digging in. And I was like, holy cow, this is so cool. Like, we knew the Mayans had their shit figured out, like for
Mhm.
sure. Like, I feel like we've all known that for a while, but there is such a deep, deep undercurrent of spiritual awareness that can come from the system. And that's
Yeah.
what I
Mhm.
want people to take away from it. Like, remove the fear, remove the fear. Like, this is something that just helps you understand that you are deeply connected to everything that is and everything that will be. And that's really the magic of this particular system, I think. At least that was my takeaway.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christine, how did you get into this?
Yeah. So how it started for me was actually I was introduced to Mayan cacao from Guatemala. It was a catalyst for me. It started my journey into coming back to connection with my heart, to my ancestors, because I am a descendant of the Maya from both Guatemala and from Mexico. I am Mexican American, Guatemalan. So these are my roots. And the cacao, is
Oh.
a plant medicine, ally, whatever. It's chocolate, right? We all know chocolate. But when you have it in
Mhm.
its pure essence, it actually has and retains its like healing benefits, the living enzymes in it. And that is this very expansive plant that helps you to just feel very deeply. So in a gathering I was in, I had this cacao and it did something to me. And I was just like, how do we not know about this? That led me to go to Guatemala to connect more deeply with the lands because I don't have family from Guatemala anymore. My father had passed away, and so I felt, reconnected, and I wanted to, like, connect more, and I felt I needed to go there, so then I go there, and I learned about the calendar, and I would go back. I'd go back almost every year since, 2000, maybe 16 or 17, and that's where I found the calendar and dove into learning about the calendar. The first reading I ever got, it didn't quite land the energy that I carried, and you're further along in your journey of really knowing who you are. But the first time I got it, I was still quite confused. It was
Mhm.
it was like the second or the third reading that I got that I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting it." And my first book or my second book actually, Remember Your Roots, that came out recently. That's where I did more research into the calendar and into Mayan wisdom. And that led me onto the path and really basically creating a relationship with the calendar. It's like the more you work with it, the more you understand time is alive. And that when you come into sacred time, it's different. There's something happening. When you work with the calendar, there's something you can feel, and you feel that deep connection to spirit. You feel that deep connection to your soul's essence, and it's really just quite magical. So yeah, that's how it began for me.
I'm so intrigued by
I
all of this.
I
I really don't know a lot about, obviously I've, seen the pictures in Mexico and have learned a little bit here and there, but I
surprise,
am
surprise.
now,
We grew up in the public American school system and we
yeah,
Yeah,
weren't taught
we were,
accurately about the richness of
yeah.
indigenous
yeah,
cultures.
Yeah,
Mhm.
me too. I mean,
Yep.
that's why it blew my mind when I was introduced to cacao because I'm like, wait, the Maya did something good? I thought they were the bad guys. Like, that's what I thought. And not
Yeah,
so
I feel like all I
Totally.
ever heard about was the sacrifice stuff, you know?
exactly.
Like,
That's what you hear about. And it's like, no, wait a minute. A lot of our ancestors practiced
yes.
sacrifice in
Well,
different ways.
ironically, we've come full circle
Yes.
on that topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
And so I was like, wait a minute, that's all I had learned too, right? From like the movies Apocalypto. There's nothing
yeah.
positive about the Maya. But the cacao is where I understood, wait, there's more. I need to go there. I need to see what's going on, right? Then
Yeah.
find out about the calendar. Then I needed to do more research and read different books. And there's not that many books out there. But there are some good resources. But then you find that the Maya were the most beautiful civilization. They had an incredible civilization. It was so advanced, right? They were creators, they were mathematicians, they
Yeah.
were, astronomers, they were scientists, they were inventors. They invented the calculator. They understood the concept of zero before we were even using or understood the concept of zero in Europe, right? They were using it already. They were incredible. They created architecture that was in alignment with, the stars so that they could honor again the solstices and the equinoxes because they understood, oh, this is a time for balance, right? And it's like honoring that shift and that change. But they had aqueducts that brought like fresh water into their cities. So their cities were so clean. When the colonizers did come, the Spanish came and invaded, they were like, the floors are so clean, we could eat off the floors. How is this? Like, they couldn't believe it, right? Because they were still living in like, it was almost medieval times. It was like the shift into more modern times.
Yes.
But it was disgusting there. Like, we have to talk about the fact that they had no hygiene. They had so many diseases. I mean, that's what actually wiped out the people in Mesoamerica was the diseases first. It's not
Yes.
that we
Mhm.
really lost a war, my loves. It's like we were genocided. There was a genocide that happened. But first it was diseases that took us out in such a big way. But yeah, it was so clean. And like even their hygiene was incredible. Like they were brushing their teeth. Their teeth were clean and beautiful, their breath fresh, all these things. It was really advanced. And I think it's that, again, understanding the way they lived in harmony with everything. It was so beautiful. Is because they understood everything was connected, right? The cosmology, the understanding that it's all interconnected. So there's so much wisdom that we can learn from them. It's so beautiful and crazy that we don't know about it.
I
I
know. And you
know.
always think of them as so primitive, or at least I did, which I know is very ignorant. And it's like, it's amazing. They did not have technology, they did not have modern science, and all of the wisdom that they had is just fascinating to me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some cool documentaries on YouTube, by the way, where they talk about like they had computers and the computers were they were actually codices, right? And the codices had all these numbers and digits and things that we don't understand. We can't really understand it fully because we burned the textbooks and we prosecuted and killed and pillaged and raped and murdered so many of the Mayan people. So a lot of that was lost, but some of it was saved, like the calendar and that understanding. There were 4 codices, 4 books, like basically textbooks that were saved, but everything else was burned in the fire. Hundreds of books. For days they burned the books.
It's
It
like
just makes me sick that we've
colonization is
lost
the
so
most
much.
ass backward thing of all time, right? Like we had
Yeah.
Ryan Recker on the podcast and he was talking a lot about like how much we have lost
Mhm.
as as like the Western Christianity that's like come in to quote unquote save
Yeah.
these primitive cultures. Like we lost an opportunity to understand how to live with time, live with the land, heal
Mhm.
ourselves with nature's medicine, like ancient wisdom that we just obliterated. But like,
Yeah.
okay, I was just having this thought while you were talking. I think it's so interesting that as a society, we can learn about these ancient cultures that were clearly like beyond ahead of their time, right? Like
Mhm.
having computer systems and the math and the science and all of that. And nobody ever stops to be like, well, how could we replicate that today? Right? Like, no, but we're just like, oh my God, that's so cool. Let me go
Yeah.
back to like my normal ignorant ways, right? Like nobody stops and thinks like, but how? How do they do it? So I'm listening to you talking about like it's implied in everything that you're saying. They're living in the rhythm. They understand the interconnectedness. And I feel like spiritually, we've had a lot of guests on here that are psychic. They're like, everybody has psychic abilities. Like, you can download
Mhm.
wisdom that you don't know, doesn't necessarily come from your brain matter. It's coming from a different energetic. Like, perhaps that's what it is. Like, they were living in energetic harmony and they
Mhm.
were on a completely different frequency than the rest of
Mhm.
humanity. And therefore, they were able to gain access to information that nobody else was. So,
Yeah.
like, fast forward to why I think this is so cool is that, like, we can still do this. We can still embrace it by learning this and you
Yeah.
telling us about it and ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Is that like
Yeah,
it?
exactly. That's it. That's it. And I think people are feeling like this shift, right? I don't know if you've spoken about this, but right, there's like a prophecies that are converging right now. Different prophecies
Will you tell us
speaking
about
of
that? Because I've heard a
Yeah.
little bit, but I'm not
yeah.
educated enough
Well,
on that. Yeah.
let's talk about 2012, right? Which was just the end of the long count calendar that I told you about that predicted the solstices and equinoxes to really map and understand different historical events and big changes, right? So 2012 was the end of that cycle, 5,125 years, and the beginning of a new one. So it wasn't the end of the world, it was just a shift. And a lot of people felt that, and that could have been in a big way or a small way. I felt it. There's something that happened for me. My bigger catalyst happened in about 2017. But shifts take a moment. So we're coming into a new energy. It's not going to be this big, you know,
Mhm.
change. And so there's the seventh generation prophecy, right? When colonization happened, when those times happened, that's 7 generations back in a big way. And so now we're coming into a time where we can actually heal all of those wounds, where we're so powerful and resilient, really understanding that, that we can walk in our power. And like we are also that bridge to the ancient. And so there's so many different prophecies. Another one that I really love is the Cuauhtémoc's prophecy. He was a Mexico ruler in the 1500s, and he prophesied that there would be a time where the descendants of the colonizers would come to the feet of the indigenous people to learn the wisdom again, to remember this connection. And we see that happening in a big way. And it has been happening in
Yeah.
little moments and ways. And it's like, then you have the condor and the eagle prophecy or the rising of the feminine prophecy. And we can feel that, right? There's this
Mhm.
rising within us and with the females, but with it's the feminine. It is rising. It is coming back, this understanding of the matriarchy, this understanding of we need to prop our women up. We need to support our women in love. And we hold so much medicine as women, right? Being like that
Yes.
bridge, right?
Mhm.
Having this ability, this connection to the creator through giving life and birth. So yeah, they're all converging at this time, and it's speaking of the times that we are in. So it is very chaotic out there because things are shifting. It's going to get messy, right? Birth is messy. It's hard.
Mhm.
It hurts. There's pain. And that's we're in that like birth canal, but we're going to come into a new time. And what that looks like is an ancient future, right? And that is bridging this understanding of the wisdom of the ancients to bring it in so we can live in harmony once again, but with an even more beautiful perspective because we're all interconnected. Like, again, we move through cycles and we don't understand the bigger picture, but it's all feels very meant to be. And it's very beautiful times that we're in, even though it's very hard times. And that's the paradox. And that's why we do need tools and systems to support us in coming into balance so we can be in alignment so that we can hold all of that. And it's a lot to hold, but
Yeah.
we're here at
Yes.
the right time. Yeah.
That was
I
so well
love that.
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to give people a lot of, like, yeah, confidence.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Rach.
Oh, no. I was just gonna say collectively, I feel that right now, and I have had that thought of, like, if we are actually gonna heal anything, it kinda reminds me of when you do therapy. Things get real messy and ugly before they get better, and, I just feel like we're kind of all going through that right now, like, we have to deal and face with everything that's been, right? And all the corruption and all the evil and all the harm that's been done. We have to face it and look at it, which is really hard for all of us.
Yeah.
But I
Healing.
do love this idea of there's hope at the end of this, right? Like it's a process that we must walk through in order to be in a better place long term. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like with healing, right? It takes acknowledgement. We can't skip
Mhm.
steps and be like, we know we're all connected and it's all one love as well. It's like, no, we got to look at what is happening here. And also the systems that are in place to keep you numb and dumb and
Mm-hmm.
disconnected and ignorant. Like, you got
Mm-hmm.
to get curious, my loves. Open your mind. There's so much out there and there's so much beauty to be had when we understand and get curious with each other and like listen to each
Yes.
other's stories, like what we're doing, right? This is huge. This is going, I'm sure,
Mm-hmm.
going to be a lot for people. And it's so important. It's going to help us in healing collectively so that we can move forward in a good way together because we're more powerful together and united. So, yeah, it's huge.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yes. So let's make it real for people. So I think like what's cool is that we have a lot of loyal listeners. They know me and Rachel like
Yeah.
really well. They know our personalities. So
Yeah.
I think like let's talk through maybe because you looked at our stuff, like what people could expect from a session with you and like what that would look like. And then, again, like this is probably people's first time for a lot of
Yeah.
people hearing about this. So just yeah, talk to us like, we're newbies.
Ask.
Mayan Astrology 101.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to share. And yeah, just ask me any questions if it's going to be a lot for people who it's their first time. It's going to be like, oh, because there's just new words, right? But it's
Yeah.
actually very
Mhm.
simple. So your mind sign, just like I'm an Aries, right? Well, my mind sign is a 3 Ashput. There's a number, right? From the cycle and then in the wall. So for Rach, hers is 12 Kawak. Okay. The number 12 represents the weaving together of all of life's experiences in combination with Kawak, which is the storm. It can represent the rain. The animal that it is the turtle. So there's always an animal that you can learn from. That's kind of like your animal guide, right? It'll walk with you on your path, and there's much that you can learn from the turtle, right? And so basically, what I see when Kawak is in alignment and walking their path in a good way, it's kind of like the turtle in the chaos, here to support us in like walking this path in a peaceful way. I see like a storm and the turtle's moving through it, all peaceful, all calm. And you're here to like guide others in feeling that while we're in the storm, while it's raining and
Oh.
stormy, right? So yeah, it's the energy of the leader. It's very respected, very powerful. It's about finding balance, Kawak, right? Because of that rain and the storm. And then you have the turtle. Um, on its shadow side, you could say, like, we all have light and shadow, and we have things we can
Mhm.
work on, right? That's the shadow. And the shadow of that is it can be really tough love. It is a feminine energy and a leader energy, but it can be a bit too tough at times, like too stern. So children soften the kawak. That's a beautiful thing is to have children or be around the children to soften, to remember play and things like that. But um, yeah, it can be the light or it can be yeah, intense, right? Or chaotic. So just knowing that you get to come into alignment, come into centeredness, right? Have a meditation, have some beautiful practice in the morning to really remember who you truly are, which is that beautiful, peaceful, energetics and turtle energy.
Yeah.
So that's your main, right? 12 Kawak. It's the energy you'll always carry, the weaving together. If you want to be a beautiful leader and guide, that 12 number is so beautiful. It's like you're weaving together all of this understanding of your life's experiences so that you can be this beautiful leader and lead through experience and, how you walked your path so that others can walk it in a good way too, right? You're sharing by example. And then you have your tree of life. So we'll go into your conception. There's an energy that was there around your conception. It can represent the relationship between you and your parents and also can represent past lives as well.
Okay.
I was
So
gonna ask
yours
you
is
about that.
for
I was gonna
bot.
ask you about past lives and you answered my question. Keep going.
Okay. so so yours is for bots. So then I'll go into what that can mean for past
For
lives.
bot, you said?
Bots. BATZ.
Oh,
Okay.
she's like a robot. I can see.
Bot is actually the animal's the monkey. And that's because it's so creative. It is actually the creative genius of all the Nawals. And it's like the star of the show. It is very shiny and good at things that they want to do. Very artistic, very creative. But Bots is also really good at like singing and dancing. It's
Wow.
interesting. They're good at things. On the shadow side of that means that they can sometimes be judgmental because they expect everybody else to be good at
Oh
things
my
as well.
God. Totally. That is, yes, 100%. Thank you.
I'm
Confirmed.
dying right now. I am like, I am not doing
I
a good
always
job of
say
hiding
I
my.
work so hard because you guys, I can be so judgy, and I work so hard to like tame that,
Yeah.
but it definitely I
You do a good
struggle.
job
Well,
as your best friend. I would hear
externally,
all of the I like
internally,
as your best friend, like I would assume I would hear like, the shrapnel of your judgment of other people, but you do a good job.
no, it's just internal. Don't
Oh,
give me too
internal
much credit.
judgment.
No, like I
No,
just
you
don't tell
still
people about it, but I'm judging the fuck out of people all the time, and I try not to. Like I'm really working on it. I really am, but
But
I
now
can
you
be
have clarity
very
that this is not random. This is a
Yeah.
yes.
shadow that you're bringing to light.
Yes, I know. I'm
Exactly. We
working
bring
on that.
All right.
So
So
good.
yeah, because you're so good at things. But guess what? Not everybody can be so good at everything like you are.
Well, sometimes I think I have it all figured out. That's another
Okay.
ego
You
thing,
mostly do though.
Like
I'm always like,
I
Rachel,
feel
can you
judgy where
believe you could do this? Like, I'm like, did you know that you could do what you just did? And she's like, I don't know. But like, I'm amazed because you are very good at things. Like, you'll take something on and it's like amazing. And
Oh
I
yeah.
would have no clue that you're
Oh, well,
even,
thank you. That's
yeah,
very
but
kind of you.
well, it's 100% accurate. And it's wonderful being not only your friend, but your business partner. Cause I'm like, I'll be like, hey, Rachel, here's an idea. And she's like, ta da. And like creates this like gorgeous thing. But that's
Wow.
so
Yes.
true.
Yeah,
That's so
I connect with
accurate.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's amazing.
And
And
that's the conception energy you said?
yeah, so this is an
Okay.
energy you also carry. And so what we
Okay.
can look at for conception, this can represent also that, you were probably very fun as a child, very bubbly, very, shiny once again. In past lives, that can represent that you had many experiences, many lifetimes of being that creator, the star of the show, literally like on stages and things. Okay.
Mhm.
But again, it's just creative genius energy. And so tap into it. It's like when you forget, what's really beautiful is knowing we have incredible energies all around us that we can, come into connection with. So it's just important to know you
Yeah.
have that beautiful, favorable energy there. Okay. Then we come into your feminine side. Your feminine side represents your inner feminine, but it also represents your creativity and your artistry. It, is a 5 con. So this is juicy and it gets fun here. Okay.
Oh.
5 represents the hand. It's actually it can mean like hard work, but it can also represent um wisdom too, right? And so it's in combination with Khan, which is the snake. So
Ooh.
snake is a beautiful animal, right? It's connected to the earth and we have this connotation because of different stories about the snake and that's just not what it is. Before that story of it being like an evil thing, right? There is this understanding that it's deeply connected to the earth and it teaches us how to shed the past, right? It teaches us how to walk softly upon the earth, how to be precise as well. And what it represents to a lot of indigenous cultures and ancient cultures is this kundalini for the Hindu or kayapa to the Maya, which is lightning of the blood. So when the Maya would see lightning in the sky, they call it kayapa, the lightning of the blood, the power within the body and in the blood is kayapa. What it is life force energy. It's power. So Khan is the most powerful of all of the Nawals. And it is also, when it works with that power in a good way, it becomes the wisest of teachers, right? So there's no wonder why you have a podcast and why you are a teacher to women. You have the Khan in the feminine side. And then I want to mention this too. Your year bearer, the year you were born, is an 8 eek. 8 represents wholeness and eek represents the voice, the power of the voice. And you also, yeah, exactly. She has it as well. She had his eek as well. And it's like, no wonder you guys have a podcast together.
You have it too?
Dude, I'm dying right now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
So,
I'm dying too because this not only aligns with like other things to Jace's point, it lines up with every other Akashic record stuff and, Ainsley McLeod we had on, but I don't
Past
wanna
life psychic.
I
No, no, it's just
yes,
like
I
that's
don't
my
wanna get us off
point
course,
is
but
like,
yeah, it's amazing.
it's incredible. And this is like a richer, like, the way in which you're explaining it and the symbolism, I think is like connecting in a way that I haven't. It's like similar for me personally with astrology, where
Mhm.
maybe some people don't always connect as deeply. This to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have another rabbit hole. Like like I already know it. It's
Yes,
just it is
totally.
so rich in
Yeah.
explanation. But anyway, keep going, keep going. I'm like
Mhm.
This is
literally
why I have
dying.
a deck coming out, by the way, May 12th, and can't wait
Oh
for you
my
guys
god.
to have it because then you
Well,
can like it'll go over the calendar in an even
we're
more
buying it.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
and then you can divine yourself and you can look at it. It's just an oracle deck and you can feel into the different energies. It's going to be so fun and so beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
So
Yes.
I want to say a little bit more about Khan because
Okay.
it's so powerful and it holds so much power and it's so beautiful. So there, of course, the light and the shadow once again. So can be the wisest of teachers. It can be so good, but it can also be bad if we don't work with that life force energy, which is also sexual energy. So let's get into that and understanding of we got to work with our sexual energy that is so natural. And when we push it down or suppress our sexuality, then we can have problems or issues where it can become leaky or, yeah, just
Leaky is not a good word. You don't want a leaky vagina.
leaky energy, leaky sexual energy. Not in a vagina.
After 2 kids, I mean, I feel like I do have a leaky vagina. Like, I don't think there's anything we can do about that now.
Sorry, I who invited me? Okay, keep going.
So,
Nobody wants a leaky bag.
No, don't. You gotta
yeah,
have sex. If you don't want a leaky vagina, have sex. Okay, it
yes,
sounds
have sex. Well,
counterintuitive, but
exactly.
that's the guidance.
Exactly. It really it is part of the guidance actually is to understand, that sexual energy is beautiful and it's just energy in the body that gets to be utilized and worked with. When we work with it, then it becomes beneficial for others. Again, for you to be the wisest of teachers. Um,
So I have sex to become more wise.
yeah,
Okay, my husband's gonna be real
I
pleased
was just
with
gonna say Ryan
this
must have
reading.
reached out to Christine and was like,
I'm like,
"Hey,
"Did Ryan slip her a 20?
yeah, if you could just work this into today's episode, that would be great."
It'll help you in business."
yeah, no, really. And it's
Okay.
like, well, if you're a single person, right, and you have a con energy or you feel this, like I feel like I have a lot of sexual energy or life force energy, then you get to work with it on your own with some breath work or, with your own love practice, your self pleasure practice, like really understanding that this is a natural energetics and you get to work with it for it to be beneficial in your life and it gets to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, also there's some beautiful practices that you can work with like the sacral where this is where the power is stored is in like that sacral center there at the like root and sacral.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a beautiful energy and again, supportive for the feminine. And when we talk about the rising of the feminine, I'm just like, oh my God, yes, so beautiful to see that on your feminine side. Now, masculine side. This represents your inner masculine, but it also represents the work you do in this world, like how the world will perceive you as well. Yours is
Mm.
six Aj. Six represents ultimate stability because it represents like the directions, the four directions, and then that connection to the heart of the earth, the heart of the sky. And then Aj is the cornstalk. Okay. It's the spine, like a straight spine, spinal cord, standing up tall. It's this energy of the leader and it's actually very masculine. So it's like the masculine may see you as a very yeah, like masculine type of leader, right? Or the world may see you in that way rather than like a very feminine like leader if that makes sense, right? Cuz it's just the
Mhm.
world perceiving you. And yeah, it just carries that energy of the leader. They're it's a very strong and like noble energy and harmonizing energy as well. They're usually very supportive for bringing harmony to different systems, whether that's the family system or like a community, or your friends, things like that. Especially again for the men too. So
Okay.
and it's like the leader for men. So also know that you have that there. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So lead the men. We need your support in that.
Okay. All
You know,
right.
if you could just get right on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wish me luck with that one.
So, yeah, then we see now in your destiny. Let's go into that.
Oh,
Your
cool.
destiny is, we call it eldership or destiny. And you start to feel this around the age, sometimes 36. That's when I felt mine.
Dude.
42 is another shift where it will hit and happen and feel into it. So like when I say that, a lot of people have big things happen at those years. Then
Yeah.
at 52 is where you really come into it and feel it.
Dang, I love that.
Did you have some big things happen those years?
Well, okay, yeah, so I was thinking I had my huge kind of what I call my spiritual awakening where, like, everything from just everything I'd been suppressing and holding on to and avoiding. So I was in my late 30s, it all came to a head, and that's really what kind of, like, cracked me wide open and where I started searching for new spiritual meanings and exploring different things, and that was kind of the beginning, and then 2 years ago, when I was 42, we started this podcast. Almost exactly 2 years ago.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, when you said that, I was like, "Wow, yeah, totally, totally." That's crazy to me.
That is so
Yeah.
crazy, especially when you feel into the energy that it is, which represents, so 7K. So 7 is, it represents endings, actually, and it can be a little uncertain which direction to go into. In combination with Ke, which is the deer, it's the stag, which is the year that we're in, right? It's the spiritual guide. So the spiritual guide, it's the leader, it's deeply connected to the wilderness, to nature, the protector energy. So,
What is
yeah,
happening? What is happening? I can't even deal.
it's very also driven, it's very determined, it's a beautiful energy, but yeah, like that leader, like it also represents that like pillar for people, but also for like the collective. They're just like very strong. It's so magical, but it's enhanced by children as well. So just to know, I don't know if you have children, but
Yeah. Yep,
yeah.
I do. 2 girls.
Yeah. So what a beautiful energy to carry, and that you're already, tapping into. Of course, you would have a big thing happen, but I can't believe the podcast started at that.
Yes.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
I
That's
mean, this September, right? I'm thinking
Yeah.
September will be 2 years for us.
Yes.
So, I guess a year and a half, but still.
No,
Yeah.
you're forgetting. We started talking
Oh, yeah,
about it
before that.
yes, like we were
That's right.
building it.
That's when we went
We didn't go
live.
live, but we were months before.
You're right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, so beautiful. And I think the last thing I'll share is the trecena that you're in, which is just that 13 cycle that yours is in, is one canil, and it's abundance. So it's a beautiful
Oh.
energy to carry in the chart of abundance. It's the rabbit, and I even mentioned it to you, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a favorable, beautiful energy. It's very fun loving, and it's all good vibes. And so is Eek with what's your year bearer, which is just so sweet. Like to have the power of the voice that Jasa has as well. Like it's like I always recommend people who have this to sing more, because you have a gift, whether you think you're a singer or not. You have a gift, and we're all singers. Like we're meant to sing. Like our ancestors were singing all of the time, and there's a
Yeah.
power in that, and it's medicine. It's like medicine for your body, but also can be like an offering. You go to a space and you can like give it to different things. Like if you're in nature, you can give it to the trees or to the waters or whatever, just as a thank you. Thank you for the air they're providing, supporting the beautiful waters, the waters we need to drink in different ways. So
Well, it's
yeah.
like worship, right? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
offering your voice up in worship.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
So
mean, did I
There's
not
so
tell
much there
you?
to unpack. It's nuts. It's
Did I
nuts.
not tell you? I was so
Yes.
excited for this because I was just like, but that even like surpassed my expectations. I mean,
It's wild. It's so wild. I mean, everything you were saying too about like, I mean, like I grew up, dance was my thing. I really wanted to go to school and do it professionally. I mean, that was all true. I've been told from our lady who we do Akashic record readings with that I was a burlesque dancer in another lifetime and have, yeah,
Yeah, you were.
Wow. I love
yeah.
it.
And then recently we had Ainsley McLeod on and we had this big discussion because I don't necessarily see myself as a leader. And he had that down too for me. So it's just interesting.
So
Yeah.
much leader energy all over the chart. So you get to start to really, yeah,
Lean
feel it.
into that.
Yeah, yeah,
Grab my
exactly.
lady ball and make
Yep.
it happen.
Giddy up.
All
Mhm.
right. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's do
Well,
Jasa. I want to hear Jasa.
when I do these readings, it's an hour long, and I will share that it is, yeah, it's kind of like an activation. It's not just me talking about, the ancient technology and the signs and things and the energies, but it's like an activation. Like something can happen there where you can start to feel into it more. It can be very supportive for you, and a reclamation for you to really feel into your magic, your truth, your power too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like there is a remembrance, right? Like you're hearing something
Hmm.
that you already know deep down, and then it's like you said, you're getting activated.
Yeah. That's a really beautiful way to think of
Like
it. I like that. As I'm going further in my spiritual growth, I feel so connected and curious about indigenous people, both Native Americans,
Absolutely.
groups that I never really was that intrigued by before, or knew much about. All of a sudden I just
Well, I think we're realizing what was kept from us,
exactly.
you
Exactly.
know, and
Yeah.
then you start hearing it, and you're like, well, good
And it's so
lord, that makes a
beautiful.
lot of sense, and
Yes.
it's so beautiful, and that's everything that's missing right now in our
Mhm.
Western modern, air quote, modern
Yeah.
society, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I want Rach to hear.
Okay,
I
ready?
know. I want to.
Okay.
Yes.
So Jasa is a 12 eek, the hummingbird, right? So she is the
Oh.
power of the voice, that ability to, yeah, sing and to speak very eloquently as well. It also represents the wind and change too. So just like the winds can be, soft and beautiful, it can also be like a hurricane. So there's that understanding of like,
No,
No, not
no
Jace.
idea what you mean by
No.
that.
but it represents words, communication, speaker. It's very impactful, their words. It can represent also divine words too. But yeah, very eloquent. And the thing for an eek, where hers is 12 eek, which is the weaving together of all of life's experiences, right? It's you're going to have to learn how to go with the changes. There's not going to be a lot of constant except for change. Like you're going to have to learn to adapt. That's like your lesson. And that's going to teach you how to become very resilient, very, right, strong.
Mhm.
So yeah, 12 eek. It's so beautiful. The hummingbird is so beautiful. And it's also very connected, right, to the ancestors. That's, people say they see the hummingbird and they feel their ancestors when they see the hummingbird. I know I do. Not everybody does, but that's that connection to ancestors as well. Then when we go into um her conception, it's 4 ish. And you had a 4 as well, didn't you? I think yours was a 4 too.
Yeah.
Rach.
I was for bots.
Yeah, that's cool. And yours is 4 each. 4 is it actually represents stability. And, so when we see that there, again, can be past lives if your lifetime in this lifetime didn't feel stable, but it could be that you did have a very nice and stable environment in your childhood. But Ish is so magical too. Ish is the jaguar, right? And jaguar is deeply connected to the mother, similar to the ke, to the deer, the stag. But the jaguar actually, moves through the darkness in a big way to understand that it is the light, that it carries the light within.
Shut up.
Yeah. Ooh, I got chills and I don't know why, but I don't remember.
Because it's so accurate.
That's
Yeah.
wild. Oh my gosh, I have
Yes.
like full goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's deeply connected again to the mother. It's like the protector, right? The guardian of the mother and all of her children, right? It's fierce love. And this is the energy that I've been feeling into so deeply. I also have Ish as well. It's like it's time for us to speak up, for the mother, for the children, for this earth, and for others. Like, yeah, I feel like we have that.
I am getting emotional. So you guys get goosebumps, I cry. But like thinking of everything she went through with Roman, it was so beautiful to watch her as a mom and the immense amount of love and protection and really fierce, how fiercely you loved and helped heal him. I really believe that. So anyway, I'm bawling now because that just resonates.
No, it's like
Yeah.
hitting such a deep.
Mm.
Oh, Christine, yes, like, thank you. I mean, to feel seen like that and Rach,
Yeah.
and she knows, right? Like, she saw it all.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
Don't be.
Clearly, it resonates.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love that friend. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I see
Yeah.
that in you.
For sure.
It's yeah, it's so powerful. It is yeah, it's such a powerful energy, leader energy, and magical energy as well. With Ish, you have this beautiful opportunity to manifest in really big ways and beautiful ways. And so it's important to work with that um ability to manifest. And so I will mention your Mayan birthday, right? This is just every time your main energy comes up in the calendar. So 12 will show up, right, within those 260 days. When it does, that is a time of magic and manifestation. It is just a beautiful day, and so you want to be really intentional with your words, with your thoughts, with your actions. And so the perfect day again to work with your gift of manifestation, right? How can we do that? And just to make it simple for people listening, gratitude, right? Gratitude is a beautiful way to feel into it. And so I always like to share with people this word, matiosh, which is deeply felt gratitude. It's not just a simple thank you, but to feel gratitude and for
I
all
love
things. Yeah, it's Maltyox. And I have a really beautiful free meditation that I can give everyone to
Oh,
um,
cool.
Yeah,
work
we'll
with
link
that.
it in the show notes. That would be what I want to do it.
Me
That's
too.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And yeah, so to work with that to manifest. Now let's come into your feminine side. Your feminine is 5 Okay. And Ganil, again, is abundance, right? The rabbit. It's also
We
like
have the
gold.
same one.
We have a lot of like overlapping.
Yes, of course you do. You
I
guys
was
are
like,
working
wait,
together.
that's
That happens all the
crazy.
time when you're like, when it's
Yeah.
like family or friends, you're going to see some like, ooh, what do they have? Because there's probably going to be
That's
a little bit
so
of a reflection there.
cool.
That's interesting. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason Jasa came in is because she knew Taylor, and Taylor is a no. And Jasa has no in her year bearer is 11 no, which is the mind, Taylor, that intelligence, Jason, the intelligence, the
Yes.
intellect. It's like the most intellectual genius of all the no walls. So it's a lot
Okay.
of thought and things. We'll go into the shadow later though. But
I was like, tell me more.
but so Keneal is again abundance. It's abundance, and having that on your feminine side, it's like you're going to bring out the fun, loving nature in other women, and then you can also support them in like really understanding what abundance is. Right? It's not just monetarily, things, but it can be in so many different ways. But anyway, it's abundance. It's also it represents the corn, which is like gold to the Maya. It's a sacred item. So yeah, it's the golden one. So of course you're going to be really fun, especially for the feminine and again abundant. So that's feminine side, masculine side. Let's go into Ajmak. Here's a 6 Ajmak, and Ajmak is it's all about forgiveness, learning to forgive, forgive yourself, forgive others. But it's really like that's what Ajmak is about, right? It's the power of forgiveness. It's like the art of forgiveness, which then leads to liberation. So this being on your masculine side, there's going to be a lot of, right, I think men to forgive. But also just in general, that's just the energy of Ajmak. It's like the human experience. It's about challenges. It's like learning to get back up after falling many times. And but it's also very loving. It's the essence of being like such a loving human and a good human. Yeah, it's very down to earth. It's very sweet energy too. Um, but yeah, there's going to be some challenges in order for you to overcome, you know, with that one. So yeah, and then going into your destiny is 7T. 7, you guys have all the same numbers. That's what's happening here. I'm like, we're seeing
Oh,
the
really?
you guys have all the same numbers. Yeah, I'm seeing 7
Oh,
here as
crazy.
well. So 7 endings. T is the dog. So T is it can go both ways. So it can go very like loyal and it's about being very faithful and it's about justice and truth. Like I love T because I like honesty and I like getting to the root of things and I like clarity and that's like T as well. And yeah, they're just like they're noble. They're good, you know. And they have vices. So you got to work through the vices and find beautiful things to support you because a T can want to get into vices to support them. And like, on the shadow side, it's like if you weren't walking this path in a good way, you're going to want to numb in a big way.
Mm.
It can represent like sex, drugs, and alcohol, like really needing to numb because they have a really keen senses, so you have this ability to like feel so deeply and feel into your senses. And that could be a lot for people who, we're told not to feel. These
Mhm.
systems are in place to keep you not feeling or overwhelmed, right? And especially with what's happening now. So anybody listening who feels like, oh, I might have a seat, you got to have some practices that support you in coming into your senses. So I always recommend ceremonial cacao, like I've already mentioned to you, because what it's done for me in my healing. But this can support you in coming into your senses to feel good. You can taste the cacao, smell the cacao, but you can also feel it in the body to support you in feeling good, right? They call it an aphrodisiac, but that's just because you feel euphoric. You feel really good in your body because of the healing properties within it. There's anandamide, which is the bliss molecule, those PAs and MAOs that help and support your serotonin and your dopamine levels. So there's all the science behind it that shows that it helps your heart health, your mental health, all like clarity, all these things. It helps with focus and beautiful things. But on another level, it helps you with your path and feeling into different aspects of yourself. And it's very healing and heart healing. So that's one practice and thing that can support you on your path. And yeah, I can put like a code for everyone if they want to get cacao and try it out. We'll give
Yeah.
you that
Yeah.
free gift. And that free meditation, it also gives you a free guide so that you can create your own cacao ceremony, right? Your own
We
little
need to do that. I know.
moment.
I know. I'm like, you really okay, couple things. I'm like, if Christine tells me to do anything, I'll be like, uh-huh. Like I'll go do it. But I love the intentionality of it. Of like, okay, you've
Mhm.
now just learned about yourself. And I gotta tell you, like, I was blown away the first time, but it's like e- somehow it's like it's still just as magical hearing it
Mm,
again. So thank you. And then to take that and to say, like, it's not just a point in time. It's not just like this feel good moment of learning. I am now going to take this information and empower myself to make meaningful change and like
Mhm.
really lean into the gifts and really lean into the things that really connected. And like the shadow side too, like I'm going to look at the things that I know exist that, I don't,
Yeah.
the forgiveness thing, it was so interesting because I don't know. Well, you said the same thing. It like took your second to third reading to really kick in. I feel like that really connected with me more so today, perhaps than even the first time. And I have such a hard time with self forgiveness.
mm,
It is something that has created such pain for me. Like
mm,
any of my friends or a complete stranger, I don't care what they do. I would be like, oh gosh, don't worry. Like life's too short and you're doing the best you can. And I am ruthless with myself to the point that it's created depression in certain
mm,
instances. And also, like, getting into it with a lot of men and felt like a lot of men have, like, I have a deep rooted frustration of feeling like I will have an authority, air quote, authority figure in my life that's male that has consistently let me down or, has exploited my talents, my work, my whatever to help themselves, and it's like that when that pattern happens over and over and over again, it's like, what is that trying to show me? Because the pattern keeps showing up. And perhaps it's,
Mm,
there's, we can have righteous anger, but to hold on to that only hurts me. Right. So, like, to
Mhm.
figure out how I can forgive male energies or male dominated authority figures in my life that I really feel like have let me down is something really good to bring forward, because I do think, like, now thinking about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that's so true, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, and I think I really want to share something with you because I literally just did a practice right before the new year, the Mayan New Year. I did this beautiful practice because I was feeling into needing to forgive an ex partner, and for what he like put me through, and these things were coming up, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
there's still some residue there. Like I've already done work around it,
Mhm.
but there's something here. And with this new year, I'm not trying to take it into the new year, so this is a practice that you can do. It's about somatics. We're getting out of the head. And here's the thing about no, you have it in your year bearer, right? And no is the mind and intellect, and that's a beautiful gift, and it's incredible, like what you can do with your mind and thoughts that you have. They're really here to support the collective. They're here to support the world and being like a better place. So it's so beautiful and beneficial, and it can get stuck in the head, can get really just over too many thoughts, too much thinking. And we really need to have practices to get out of the head into the body.
Correct. I mean,
Confirmed. I can confirm that as
it's
well. I
confirmed. It's true. Yeah. Plus one on that one. 100%. It's like,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, our greatest asset can be our
Yeah.
greatest pain, right? Like, our greatest weakness. And that is absolutely true. Like, my mind can do great things and run away with itself, and just, again, having that awareness, like, okay, this is part of the thing that I'm here to master or work through, right? It's like, yeah, this is all God given. Like, God does not make mistakes, right? Like, there's no, like, bad or, well, I like to, like, really lean into the good, but, like, even, like, the shadow side, right? It's meant there for a reason, and
Yeah.
it's all
Mhm.
part of our growth. It's just good to remember, because I'm really hard on myself, like, I'm even hard on myself for being hard on myself, right? Like,
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
like,
Yeah.
so this is the practice I want you to do. Okay. I want you to, this is one that I just did and it was so beautiful. And again, it's getting past oh, I need to forgive myself and let me forgive on my thoughts and let me like write it down and think about it, but like feeling into it and also acknowledging the hurt that happened as well. So there's an acknowledgement piece. So you can have like a stone or something that signifies the acknowledgement of it happening. So I'm forgiving my, let's talk about my ex partner that I need to forgive. So I have this
yeah,
stone that represents that acknowledgement of the hurt because it needs to be acknowledged and like honored and not forgotten, right? And then I wrote on a piece of paper about the thing that I wanted to let go. And so you can either rip it up or throw it into the river, or I ripped it up and then I burned it. Like I was, and then I buried it
dead.
and buried it, right? I like give
Yeah.
it,
And then beat it with a stick
She's like, I killed it 3 times.
just to make sure.
yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
And I made
Whatever it
Taylor,
takes.
yeah, and I had Taylor watch. I was like, there's gonna be another, support here.
Witness.
Exactly, a witness, and that's the point. That's the point, is the witness, but it's like this
Mhm.
cathartic expression and release, and it's going beyond conceptualizing whatever it is you're wanting to let go of. So I recommend everyone to work with that practice, especially with us coming into this new year. It's just really, again, it goes beyond what I can express in words and with thoughts. It's like just trust it. Just trust it and let it go. Let it
Yeah.
support you in releasing and forgiving. Yeah.
I love that.
It's so cool. And I mean,
Mhm.
Rach, like, how about how similar are,
I know. I'm blown away by that. I mean, I know we have a good mix of similarities and differences that complement each other, but that's
but, like,
wild.
the fact that I'm so blown away. Like, it was like the differences were highlighted as well as the similarities, right?
Yeah.
Like your creative, the design element, right? Like, a lot of those aspects we've always talked about. Like, that's really, like, such a skill of yours. And my brain really doesn't work that way. But my brain works around, like, organization and, like, getting complex
Strategy and
ideas
yes,
and figuring out how, it's like the thought paired with, I don't know, I'm just like blown away. It's just nuts. It's so
it
cool.
is. I know.
Um, Thank you. Okay,
You're
so I have a
so welcome.
question. Talk to us about the birthday thing because there was a funny thing that happened. I was talking to Christine during my reading. Okay, two things. You have a Mayan birthday every year, right?
You
But
can
it's
have two
based
in one year.
okay, yeah, because it's a 260
260 days, exactly. So it doesn't
calendar.
match up with the Gregorian.
That's right. And then you have a matchup of your Mayan birthday with your like actual birthday, right?
Yeah. At the age of 42.
And mine's coming up.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, because like, we were
Yes.
doing it.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was so funny because she was writing out. She goes, "Hang on, before you leave, I want to make sure you know about this coming up." And she was like, "Oh, it's blah blah blah." And I was like, "That's my actual birthday." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "When was the next time that would happen?" She was like, "When you're
You don't.
84." I was like, I was like, "I might be dead." So like, it's good to know. So what is the significance of that? Because a lot of our listeners are kind of in this maybe either coming up to
Yeah.
42 or
Yeah.
maybe talk to them about that because we're going to be partying in June apparently. This is a big
Yeah.
one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the year that you turn 42. Where's that like that big transformation? Something big happens at the age of 42. It's like for all people. So something big is going to happen for you at this age. And that's just, I mean, you only get one. So talk about the most potent time to work with your powers of manifestation and your magic and really coming into it. So that's that day to like open with your ceremony in celebration, in gratitude, and like moving from there. So it's just going to be a big year for you.
Oh
I'm
my, we're
excited.
just going to be popping cacao. I mean,
Exactly.
I know.
we'll just get it going.
Bonging cacao. One of the
Okay. Does it make you feel high? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, it can make you feel, if you have a lot of it, you can feel a little bit, but it's not a hallucinogenic or
Okay.
psychedelic. So the only way it's going to feel kind of in the body, you're going to feel more whoa. But yeah, everybody's different. So you want to like work with it slowly, like listen to your body as you drink it. A ceremonial dose is 2 tablespoons of cacao.
Okay.
If you want to just have a very small amount to just work with it, knowing like all the health benefits, you can do just a teaspoon daily. But ceremonial dose, you wouldn't want to do every single day, right? This is still a
Yeah.
ceremony and it's a sacred plant. So you want to just 3 times a week, maybe you can work with it, but it's really
Cool.
supportive for creativity, for your meditations, for again, for doing healing
Oh
work
my
as well, but
gosh.
also just feeling good.
I want to
I'm
do
so
this. I'm
excited
going to
to
slip an
do
extra
this. Yeah.
tablespoon in Rachel's. I'm going to be like, oops.
You would.
There is like some people who have like a lot of caffeine or,
Yeah.
they had like a big meal before, you are going to need a little bit more. I recommend doing it with a little bit of fruit, having fruit before, then going into it. So it's like a light
Okay.
meal.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, sometimes tears or giggles may come or sweat to support. It's kind of like a support to release, then to make space for gratitude, right? I mean, gratitude is like such a big thing in my world and what I share. But it's like becoming the expression of gratitude when you move through those steps of understanding, oh, I'm like letting go of something so I can come into this energy of gratitude to then manifest more beauty, more magic into this world and for my life.
I love
I'm
it.
so into this.
I am too. We're going to do it.
Yeah. So, like, I know that you said it could be a daily practice or, 3 times a week, but like talking about maximizing rhythms and sacredness of time,
Mhm.
if people are interested in doing this and being really intentional, is there like a time in the next like 30 or 60 days to kind of help people get set up for success
That's
or
a good
maybe how
question.
they would want to amplify the energies?
So I am going to have the calendar on my website soon so people can
Oh,
see what the energy of the day is
oh,
on
cool.
there,
Love
which is
that.
really cool. Not only that, they'll be able to do like a mini reading. It won't be as in depth as we went, but it'll be a nice beginning for people. And then you can see what the energy of the day is. There's going to be, days like Ish, which is a manifestation day, right? You're going to get that every cycle. So when you see that day, or a Canil day, which is about abundance, you can come into ceremony with a cacao. But again, it can be every morning with that teaspoon of really just having that daily practice, it will be beautiful for so many people. But just a small amount, right?
It's like a
Yeah.
microdose, you know, like just enough to feel intentional. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly.
I
Mhm.
love this.
I feel like we should fly to Arizona and we could do a cacao ceremony together. That would be I'm
Oh,
manifesting
I
that.
love
I've
it.
got really
Okay.
good manifestation energy, Christine said.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now I'm manifesting that.
And I appreciate that as your business partner, that you can manifest things. I
Yeah.
benefit from your manifestation abilities.
What a
Yeah.
cool gift.
I love this because I feel like I got a little bit of history,
Yes.
this reading, which makes me feel so seen and known and understood. And then I also have this new cacao ceremony that we can do.
Yes.
I love that we've kind of covered all bases in this discussion.
Like you're good. You're good to go.
So many more questions. And like, I know that people will be so intrigued by this because
Mhm.
astrology, like, I'm obsessed with it, but it's like, I think it's hard because there are a few things. People don't really know where it came from.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They
I
don't.
don't know. You don't know. Yeah.
People really don't. And I think that when you're raised in fear-based systems and you cannot point directly to where something came from, like it becomes problematic. And you have the church often being like, well, it's evil. But it's like, well, like we should just assume that like God created everything and his creation isn't evil, but sure, if it's not your thing, no problem. But I think where Mayan astrology and Mayan cosmology will perhaps be more inviting to people is because it is tied specifically back to an indigenous culture. And people know, they don't know enough, but they do know that Mayans were exceptionally intelligent and like
Mhm.
had systems. And like that's sort of like what everybody knows in addition to some of like the fear-based stuff that, we were taught in school. But like I
Yeah.
really think people are going to connect deeply with this because as women, like as soon as you start waking up spiritually, I feel like one of the very first things that comes to mind is like, I feel like our concept of time is not accurate,
Yeah.
and it's hard
Mhm.
to put like you almost need systems and the same system that religion gave you, but you need a practice and a framework and a methodology to kind of help you reconcile these things that you don't have words for, right? So it's like I think like that's why I'm so intrigued by this is because like we even know our concept of time in a quantum physics level does not exist. They can put an observer in an action after it already happens and it retroactively changes once you introduce something. So our concept of time is not real. So
Mhm.
to understand that like there is a culture that existed that understood that and clearly lived in an abundant, amazing way. I don't know. I think people are really going to be intrigued by this. So
For sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We love it when
Excited.
we can like bring
Yeah.
stuff like this. Like it's just
I know.
people
So
are
fun.
gonna die over this one. I know it.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
so excited. Thank you so much for having me. So much fun. Like I have so much fun doing this every time. It's so cool.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode. If you're ready to take your spirituality to the next level, be sure to check out our website, spiritoutspoken.com. There you can download free educational resources, read our latest blog posts, and join the Spirit Outspoken community.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Spirit Outspoken to stay up to date on news, happenings, shenanigans, and all things Spirit Outspoken.